On February 11 this year, Britain commemorated the 150th anniversary of someone's death. This person was not considered a great historical figure, but his passing drove social change. He was George Brewster, who died at just 11 years old. George was a chimney sweep. On February 11, 1875, while cleaning a chimney at a mental asylum, he became trapped inside. In an attempt to rescue him, people tried to pull down the altered chimney wall, but this caused George to fall as well, and he died shortly after. There were many boys like George working as climbing boys to sweep chimneys, which society viewed as a problem. In 1840, Britain had passed laws prohibiting the employment of children as chimney sweeps, but the practice continued. George's death received immense public outcry. After media reports, the news reached the 7th Earl of Shaftesbury, Anthony Ashley Cooper, who resolved to create change. That September, the Earl pushed Parliament to pass a bill strictly forbidding children from working as climbing boys in hazardous jobs. The impact from George's death did not stop there. Society also grew concerned about child labor dangers in other industries like mining, factories, and agriculture. In 1876, initiatives emerged for compulsory education. 4 years later, the Elementary Education Act was passed, requiring children ages 5 to 10 to attend school. Employing children under 10 or under 13 without completing elementary education became illegal and punishable. By today's standards, the child protection measures were still inadequate, but it marked a major step forward at that time. George's story could have faded into obscurity, but amateur historian Joanna Hudson uncovered historical records. He applied for George to receive a blue plaque, honoring local notable figures from the city of Cambridge. This brought to light a story that could have been forgotten, ensuring that worthy deeds are commemorated. What meaning does this event from 150 years ago hold today? George's short life sparked society's drive to protect children, setting aside regions where child survival remains unprotected. Even in developed areas, while children's lives are safeguarded, the living is still disregarded. For example, in East Asian regions like Hong Kong, Taiwan, and South Korea, students are constantly pressured to study, not to develop independent personalities or human meaning, but to climb the socially accepted ladder of achievement. Put simply, study hard now for a good job later. Governments, schools, teachers, and parents largely accept this mindset as a systemic force. Those awakened may not agree, instead striving to let children experience society while shielding them from being overwhelmed by prevailing tides. How many can uphold the children's rights and healthy living for children set by international organizations? Stipulations like at least 1 hour of playtime and 30 minutes of moderate exercise daily are either empty talk or mythology. In the industrial era, humans began to value children's lives as important. In the post-industrial era, have humans progressed to also value children's living, their holistic development, and conditions for being truly human? Just as some children's healthy living is buried under academics, adults also have little room to spare. Work allows one to make a living and sustain life, but whether it truly allows living out human essence is another matter. Even today, it is widely accepted that devoting most waking hours to work is necessary and natural, so people devote an entire mindset to work and nothing else. The definition of work can be debated, but many currently agree it refers to activity done in exchange for compensation. In most cases in labor market, one must expend considerable time to earn compensation. The purpose of work is to obtain income to support living, but paradoxically, most of one's living time must be sacrificed to work in order to live. This is the current reality of society, difficult to change, a matter of what it is. To consider it a matter of course without reflection, without seeking quality of living and human transcendence, is to disregard what it should be. The labor issue is also about how we view life. George's death holds value in tolling the bell for British children, making Britons realize that failing to curb child labor would lead to more deaths of climbing boys. Though most modern workers do not die directly from work, many operate like machines, with how much of their true humanity being lived out still unknown. Living inauthentically as a human is essentially not far from being dead. With artificial intelligence poised to replace much human labor, the next step for humanity should be contemplating the nature of work in its proper weight in life. Lawson White, chairman of the Guild of Master Chimney Sweeps, said, "It's important to understand the history and how tireless political campaigning and a tragic event have changed all of our lives for the better. Every modern sweep will have found it a sobering thought that many of the chimneys they sweep were once worked by climbing boys." In the 19th century, the British could scarcely imagine boys being free from dangerous labor, achieved only through struggle. Now we have yet to envisage how adult and child lifestyles changed after the reforms, upholding a reasonable human living and persisting. Perhaps history can be rewritten someday. If you have any idea or like this video, please comment, like, subscribe and share. I'll be grateful if you become a member on Patreon, making us go even further. See you on the next video.